All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Berserk, episode 10. Yeah. Guts is going on an assassination mission.
That's right.
It's a little bit dirty, don't you think?
Yes. All cloak and dagger. Except in this case, it's more like cloak and really, really big sword.
Right, that really, really big sword, I hope he left that somewhere because it's kind of his weapon. It kind of traces back to only one person.
Prince Julius was cut in half from head to foot. Who could have done this?
In one strike.
In one strike. And the floor was shattered like...
Yeah, Guts. I hope Guts goes
his
for
very
the
bed was just
bisected. Goes for the cloak and dagger approach. He doesn't break his neck with one hand. He doesn't cut him in half or anything. He could literally put too much of some sedative in his drink or something, and that would accomplish the same objective. And then everyone would assume it was a woman, because back in those days everyone was sexist and thought, oh, poison is a woman's weapon.
Yeah.
Oh, it can't be, a man that used this. It's not honorable.
Yeah, because assassination is an honorable thing.
And the freaky thing is that if they don't do this right, it really makes Griffith look bad.
Well, right. Except didn't Griffith say this is basically the Black Ops if you get caught, I had nothing to do with this. I'm not looking forward to a lot of the scenarios that could come from this. Right, because this could go very badly.
Right, it's also a thing in particular that shows the morality side of things for our main characters.
Doesn't
They're way on the gray side of things.
Right.
They're not white knights.
Yeah.
Griffith is not a white knight.
Someone tries to kill you, you try to kill them right back.
Right. But in particular, it's a practical thing for him to kill Julius, so I agree that this should be done.
Mm-hmm. And in the dead of night, because, he's the king's brother, you can't exactly say, you tried to kill me.
Right, but there's... Oh, man, it's just stressful to think about. And Guts is not the most delicate of instruments. He's a very blunt instrument.
Yeah, so. it's like you almost wonder if maybe Casca would have been better for this mission, or Judo, or
Right. I'm guessing the reason why he sent Guts is because it's almost impossible for anyone to sneak into the room. So it's basically no, Guts, once you enter the room, he's gonna know you're there, and you're just gonna have a brawl match with him, and it's you just have to strangle him.
Or you will end up needing to fight through a dozen guards to get in there, but or whatever.
Yeah, or it's more of a thing of that Guts is still kind of new. So while Griffith might show the charismatic approach of, yes, I care deeply about you, in the back of his mind, Griffith's also well, if he fails, there's not really much that I have to lose, because maybe he could just be doing it based on a grudge. And
fair point. They did do that 3-year time skip though, so Guts has been with them for a little while.
I'm aware. I'm just saying that's a low chance scenario in this whole mess of things.
So what do you say?
Let's do this, guys.
Goes?
I'm scared, but let's do it. How much do you think Guts weighs?
260.
Yeah, him jumping like that. And he has a sword.
Right, and he has the sword. The sword is probably I don't know, another 70, 80 pounds.
Is that his kid? Adonis. Yeah, that's his son. Projecting much.
I'm not going to be king, then you must be.
I mean, he is being a dick. And pretty hard on his kid. If he was going to be a real dick, he would have thrown the words more in his face and stuff. He could have.
It could have been worse.
It could have been a lot worse. I think if anything, he's just a really harsh parent. He's not abusive.
Well, and it's probably also that he's in a bad mood recently because of all the things that have been going wrong.
That's true. So he is in some ways abusing the fact that he is the bigger, stronger, older one, so he's taking it out on his kid. Lurking Guts, the idea that Guts would lurk around the castle is such an odd thing to think about. And now you're the talk of the castle.
Oh, yeah.
Talk of the court. for miles around. Griffith, you're laying this on thick, dude. Like THICC, thick.
Yeah.
I mean, Griffith is not thick. Let's be real. Like, oh shoot. So this is a more recent thing. Yeah. At least he's aware that he's being kind of a prick right now. And this guy, Hassan, is being really awesome at kind of managing thing. He's alone in a dark room. It's like fate stares back at him. His guts in the background. That would be so chilling. Oh, windows open. It's gonna go right through the sword. Oh! Oh, dang!
Yeah, he was fast enough that he didn't even get to draw. Like, that's one of the terrifying
things.
Guts has a sword that big, but he's able to be that fast with it.
Okay, you didn't cut him in half. That's good.
Yeah.
And now stab through the heart. Oh, crap. Crap. Oh!
Yep.
Oh! Oh, dang. No. No. Yep. Oh, an innocent kid.
Yep.
Crap.
Yep.
Oh, this is just getting out of hand really quickly. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh. Ah, jeez.
Just putting the dagger in deeper.
Yeah. Whoa, Guts. You have to run. Holy crap! Yeah, you gotta get out of there. Jeez, dude. Oh!
Yeah.
This is so bad. Like, the minute I knew it. I knew this whole thing would go wrong. What the... Whoa, is that Zod?
Oh yeah. You don't exactly forget something like that.
So,
but after seeing something like that,
right,
it would probably work its way into your nightmares.
Yeah, but I'm guessing this is what, like, a psychological kind of, belief in himself. Yeah, that he's becoming a demon. Yeah, where's Guts at? That's a really funny way to say it.
Yeah.
Does he have blood on him? Yeah, he does. Dude, yeah, this is... Really can't go there. No, you can't go there. Stop him, please. Oh my god, Guts, you can't just go there. Guts, please, like, this is, like...
Blood loss and head wounds tend to...
Oh, thank god, oh my gosh. Flew in.
You should go up and tell them both how successful you were.
Right. Griffith's putting the moves on. Yep, good, Casca, thank you so much. Oh my god. Yeah. Aww. She's showing genuine care for him because of Griffith's sake, but also just because...
Yeah, don't let people go around seeing you with an arrow wound.
But not only that, like, hey, you know, you're one of our unit. Do you care about group unity? I care about group unity. So now he's ready to tackle the question. given what we just saw earlier tonight.
That is a possibility.
It's a very true statement.
諸刃の剣なのです。
Ha!
尊いもの恋人
誰のためでもないなす
Yeah.
夢です。
It's yeah, a dream, yeah. Or purpose. Same thing, yeah.
Right.
世界の覇権を夢にただ一振りの剣を鍛え上げることに一生を捧げる者。一人で探求する夢もあれば、嵐のように他の何千何万の夢を食らいます。
Whoa, that's really wise right
夢に
there.
苦しみ、
Yep.
夢
Yeah.
に殺される。
That's so good.
そんな一生を男なら一度は思い描くはずです。夢という名の神の殉教者としての一生。
That's kind of
生まれ
terrifying.
てしまったから仕
But
方なく
like,
ただ
oh,
生
that's good.
き俺には耐えられない。
Yep.
すみません。
You were ahead of your
つい喋
time,
りすぎまし
Griffith.
た。
私、
Oh yeah.
男の方とこんな風にお話しするのは初めてでも
Yes.
狩り場で草
Yes.
笛の鳴らし方を教えてくださったあなたは子供のようでした。そして今は哲学者のようなことを聞かせてくださっている。
Oh, you flatter me. And they're just enamored watching, like,
Right.
awkwardly.
Yeah,
Griffith
yeah.
stands, you know, in the
Uh-huh.
background. Yes, literally, they're down there watching.
Yeah.
その身を委ねてくれる大切な仲間。友とは違います。
Oh.
私にとって友とは決して
Oh.
人の夢にすがったりはしない。
Dang.
誰に
And
も
maybe
強いら
that's
れる
what
ことなく
Casca has been
自分の
doing.
生きる理由は自分で定め進んでいくもの。
But
私にとって
setting
友と
something
は
up with that and,
そ
you
ん
know,
な
him and
対等
Guts
のもの
for
だと
sure.
思っています。
They hear all that? That's the thing I have to question here is that shot is so
Yeah.
crazy.
すごい自信ですね。
Yeah, almost too much confidence. Ha!
そうやって私は全てを手にしてきたんです。
Okay, now you're
そして
just
今
stroking your ego, dude.
一国の姫であるこうして口を聞いていただいて
Using a lot of I statements.
大変でございます。何事です。おじゅう様がユリウス様がお亡くなりになりました。城内大騒ぎでございます。
Griffith just all according to Keikaku. Oh my gosh! He can't even hide his satisfaction. Whoa! Dang. Oh man, the knights are
すごい
mobilizing.
数ね。
Is this that bald guy again? Is this Mr.
Foss
Viss? Mr.
ユリウ
Foss.
ス将軍亡き今
Good fortune in battle.
Yeah.
全力を持って当たらせていただきます。
アドニス様のような子供まで
Yeah, see, he's trying to rub it in to see if Griffith like gets any remorse. Yep, yep.
いいえ、鬼人などではありません。人の技です。大臣。
Ah,
妙な噂を耳にしましたぞ。
ような噂。
really?
狩り場でシャルロット様に向けられた矢、あなたを狙ったものではないかと。
一団長ごときを。
Not so humble anymore.
暗殺者はチューダーのものではなく、
This guy's way smarter
彼ら
than
に
he
言わ
lets
せれ
on.
ば城の外で殺すかそれとも中で殺すかそれだけの違いなのでしょう。
Wow,
面
he's
白い
right.
ですね。
He's
それ
100%
では私
right.
も
Whoa! Just keep it outside the court as much as possible. He's not
一
saying
つ
to
の
not do
若さ
that.
なんだ。あやつの仕業ではないというのか。偶然にしてはできすぎてお
Right,
る。
because he gains the most from this.
Right.
まさか私のことまで。
Wait.
いや、いくらなんでもそれはあるまい。何の証拠も
Yeah,
ないのだか
yeah,
ら。
yeah. I knew it. He is some kind of. Whoa. Oh. Oh, dang. That's the look. That's the look. Oh. Oh, this is getting intense. What an episode.
Yeah, yeah, I know, right?
Holy crap, Jacob.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they did a lot of things this episode that's like themes and like all that stuff. And the way they gave that little bit to Guts of being like, you know, because Griffith's saying, well, I want someone that's an equal. That's who I'd call a friend. And Guts
Well,
is
someone that has their own dream and doesn't attach themselves solely to my dream.
Right.
Which is what Casca's been doing. Mm-hmm. Which is why I think she hasn't been able to get closer to Guts. And now Guts...
to Griffith.
To Griffith, yes. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to talk about this in discussion. Holy crap.
Yeah.
They foreshadowed a ton.
A ton.
Ton with that fountain.
Oh, yeah.
that fountain top.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
Rip Adonis, holy crap.
I know.
Oh, such a poor kid.
Yeah.
He had,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
And within like a couple minutes, they were like, hey, this kid, you're gonna like him because he's being bullied,
And now he's dead.
now he's dead.
Wow. Yeah,
Freaking
pretty good, wasn't
kidding
it?
me. So
Yep,
when
yep.
you watch this episode a second time, like,
Uh-huh.
what's your part that's like your favorite?
That's so tough.
Because I was gonna say,
That's
there's
so
like
tough.
so
Like-
difficult to pick apart that you're like,
like-
this part made
Okay,
the
I
episode.
would say
it has to be
Alright.
something in the fountain.
Yeah,
talk,
it has to
right?
be the fountain conversation because here's the thing: the whole bit with the assassination and the way they showed Count Julius, like being a jerk to his son and all that stuff, and they made you care about the son, but then they killed him, but then they also didn't make it so it's like, oh, Julius is clearly just a devil to the core, and oh, he's a scumbag that should have
Right,
been killed
right,
anyways. It's
yeah.
like. No, he saw the problems that he had, and he still wasn't the best dad,
No.
but he was aware of the issues, right?
Right.
And things like that. But it's like, nope, he's dead, and Adonis is dead, and and there you go. But the fountain conversation really has to be it for me, because here's the thing. Characters need to have whys. In a lot of ways, this is kind of a meta, like, sort of joke at
Yes.
stories in general.
Right.
Because if a character doesn't have a why that's their own, you won't really care about them nearly as much as you care about the characters that do have that strong why,
And
right?
Griffith is literally saying, I don't care as much about my compatriots unless they have a dream that's
Exactly.
independent of mine and that they're going to go after,
Right.
regardless of who stands in their way.
Otherwise,
even
they're just
me.
people helping me go after my dream. Yeah, and the whole
Which
thing,
means
even
that-
me, like,
right.
it's like,
But-
that's not foreshadowing the
At
first
all.
episode at all.
But also the bit where we get to see that Griffith doesn't really see them as friends. Because they're not really friends.
Yeah, not true friends. They're comrades.
They're comrades. But that's a great
Yeah.
point to bring up, is that everyone else loves Griffith. From their perspective, he's totally a friend.
Yep.
In fact, they're feeling a little bit weird about the fact that he's been so distant recently.
Uh-huh.
And that's the thing. Up until this point, being friendly with the Band of the Hawk was beneficial to Griffith so that he could get what he wants out of them. Now that he's kind of gotten most of the legwork done with them, it's just having them continue to stay at the status quo of connection that they have with Griffith.
Right, because
He doesn't need to increase it anymore.
Exactly. He has other places where he needs to put his
Devote
time
his energy,
to
yeah.
building connections,
Which
and
is
stuff with the royal court and all
extremely,
that stuff.
like, low-key Machiavellian. Like, really, really sneaky. It's not extremely manipulative, but here's the thing. It's exploitative a little bit. It's basically saying that, like, Griffith's confidence and belief in himself has kind of put him into a confident state where he believes himself to be better than them.
Okay.
And for all of his dream talk about equality and, making the world a better place for, little people and stuff,
Gotcha.
I believe it. I believe it for the most part. But he's going to sacrifice other people's dreams along the way in order to get there. And he literally just said that.
Well, yeah, he did say that there are the kinds of dreams that shatter other people, the other dreams in
That's
their
his
path.
dream. That's his dream. He literally killed Julius. He killed Adonis.
Yes.
He killed all those guards that stopped him. All those people. This is what the show is brilliantly putting out there. Is basically saying that is trying to break you out of the idea that this is a story and into just, this is what all people, I know they say men, but that's because in that time men were literally upper class citizens just by being men more than women. So it makes sense that he would say men. But in reality, all people have some kind of dream.
Sure.
It's just a thing.
Yeah, and he said as much. He's like, everyone's had that at some point in their life. Yeah.
But that brings all this context to whenever people are killed. Think about it this way. That means that someone else's dream was more important than the lives or the dreams of all these other people.
Sure.
So the 8 to 10 people that Griffith killed tonight, something like that, all their dreams are gone. Their dreams ended.
Yep.
Tonight.
Well, and I love the way that he brings up this whole question, because they talk about this right after Guts killed Julius.
It's
and
the
Adonis
perfect
and all that.
time to do
but
it.
Here's the thing. It's not just the fact that happened, but it was people that tried to kill Griffith. So someone determined Griffith to be less valuable than their dream, and
so,
then Griffith returned in kind.
Yes,
and it's like, how does that change things and stuff?
Yes, yes, that's the point, though, is that Griffith's dream, in a lot of ways, started him on this path. A lot of the people that would kind of go with, well, this is noble birth, and this is our right, and you are not of noble birth, so therefore you are breaking the social order by your being here. In some ways, they're right, because Griffith was there. Julius felt threatened enough to try to assassinate him. Because he tried to assassinate him, the cycle of violence continued, and Griffith then responded in kind and had him killed and all of that. Maybe you can put it and say, well, we don't want to go all the way back to the choice of the choice of the choice of the choice, the cause and effect chain that started the whole thing, because that's all bogus.
The idea that dreams clash all the time.
Dreams clash all the time.
Yep.
And people's dreams, so to speak, die along the way. And
not oftentimes it's not because they necessarily clash with someone else's dream. That only happens when they hold strongly enough to the dream that they're actually willing to risk in order to achieve the dream, right? A lot of the time, like, kind of with what Griffith said, everyone has that, that view of a dream at some point, but does it stay?
Correct.
Does it end up dying out? And one thing I'm going to add, just because, like, this is one of the ways that I basically, my perspective on the whole thing of what Griffith said, it makes me think of in Haikyuu, when Hinata's talking about Kageyama, and he's like, it's not just that he was a friend that I made, it's that he was a partner.
Right.
The idea that Griffith probably thinks, highly enough of the people in the Band of the Hawk, and is like, yeah, these people are great. But when he thinks about, like, and he opened up to Guts about his dream and all that. But when he thinks about, like, a partner, and like someone that can go after, where they're both going after their own dreams, and
that's the thing, though. That's
not necessarily together.
No, Guts doesn't have a dream.
Exactly.
That's the point.
Yes.
Griffith kind of chose him because he saw something else. And I don't think it's that Guts has a dream. So I think the whole thing of that he sees Guts as a true friend yet is even remotely true.
Right. He said, no, not really, right in front of Guts. So that was kind of the whole point of...
Well, he didn't see Guts there.
No, I know. But from the, story perspective...
From the meta-narrative perspective, he's
that's
basically
exactly
saying, Guts, you are not my true friend.
Right,
and neither are you, Casca.
Yes. And what's interesting is that Casca didn't really respond.
Well, the camera didn't focus on her.
Yes, it didn't focus on her.
We don't know how she responded.
Yeah. But they didn't throw that in there, so it's like, it makes me wonder, like, is that something that she had already kind of, like, understood, or something that she was kind of okay with, where possibly. She's like, that's fine. I don't really want to go after my own dream. I want to help someone else, achieve theirs.
Right. It's the bit of where people can get so infatuated with someone else where they'll kind of end up thinking of themselves less because they're just a tool to serve someone else, which on a lot of levels it sounds weird or wrong, but in other ways it's one of the most compassionate, self-sacrificing things to do.
Right, putting someone else's needs above your own. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
It can be looked at as, dysfunctional or unhealthy, but I think it's all just a matter of context and looking at what the connection is involved there. And in this one, there's also a little bit of an authority role disconnect as well, in that Casca is literally in her life subservient to Griffith's orders because of their mercenary band hierarchy, which makes it even more, okay.
One of the other things I thought was really cool is how they, when I can't remember the guy's name, bald Varys looking dude. Yeah. When he's talking to Griffith. Yeah. And he's like, that person must have been some kind of demon to, have all that stuff happen. And Griffith's like, man. No, he was a man. Yeah. And like, there's the context of that with the assassination and everything, right? But then there's also the context of the fountain conversation where it's like, I get the feeling a lot of the times people, when they look at Griffith, they see him as, being something else, his sort of elf-like, just traits where he's graceful, he's suave, he's good, he's smart, he's a good fighter,
I actually see him as just a really good con man. Like, I just see him as the kind of charisma that he's just really smooth. And generally, the problem I have is that I like Griffith. I love Griffith. Mm-hmm. I know why I like Griffith, though. It's not because I like what I see on the surface. It's because I know he's brewing underneath. He's simmering and stewing in, like, his ambition and his confidence. Like, he goes to sleep reciting his dream over and over and over again. He's like
Arya with her names.
Yeah, exactly. He's brainwashed himself almost to believe he deserves all of this. And it's the kind of thing that makes powerful leaders, and it makes really horrible people. Like, it's the kind of thing that all you need is just have, like, your internal kind of compass a little bit askew, and, 1,000 miles down the road, you're way off course. You're way off course.
Okay.
And I think that this isn't a problem now. I think this is a kind of a thing where Griffith is going to have a lot of good that he'll do. If anything, Midland is going to go through a great time with Griffith kind of leading the charge of things. I think that eventually the first people that will suffer are the people closest to Griffith, like Casca and Guts. I think Guts' whole escapade
at very least relationally.
Yeah. But at the very least, you can just look at the narrow fact that the fact that Gus narrowly escaped this whole thing.
Yep.
Because of a stupid order. Like I don't know. I think Guts is the greatest person to do this in terms of the fact that the way they had this done was not a really sneaky cloak and dagger kind of situation.
Right. They're just like, make sure no one knows it was you.
Right.
But don't try and conceal the fact that this was an assassination.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So Guts was the best for it in that respect, but just maybe if he had waited a day and prepped something a little bit better, it would have gotten so much better. But anyway, I'm salty a little bit because the kid died. Yeah. And I think this is also a thing of where Guts has his own, like, self-hatred issues. Like, you can kind of tell that he projects a little bit of his Gambino situation as, like, self-blame. Like, he takes almost a little bit, like, remember the first time we remembered him calling out to Gambino in a vision. He's a kid and he's running away from a demon hand. All that.
And then it ends up cutting to, like, him killing Gambino or whatever.
Yeah. Or Gambino sitting on a throne or something, and he's like, well, you should have died. You shouldn't, like, like, you killed me or something.
Or you killed her or whatever.
Or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's the Gambino in those visions is Guts. Like, that's all Guts. Whenever someone is having an external figure in your mind telling
it's his perception.
Right. Yeah. It's his perception telling him, you screwed up, like, you're a failure, you should have died.
And it's kind of like, how can you blame him? Because, like, he was a kid, like, he was alone, like, he didn't have anyone else to tell him otherwise.
I'm not blaming him. I'm saying this is what Guts experiences and stuff. And now that he's added another kind of hard, well, no, this is on a whole nother level than Gambino. Gambino, he could probably eventually rationalize as that Gambino needed to die. He was a problem, and he was trying to kill me at that time, so I was just defending myself. This kid is completely innocent. This is gonna weigh on Guts' mind a lot more than the Gambino thing, in my opinion, even though he doesn't know this kid. Like, he doesn't have any connection. The Gambino thing, maybe Gambino was a little bit more, direct of an influence in his life.
Right. Yeah, but he was the father figure, basically.
Right, but I think this kid is going to weigh more on his mind because of the innocence factor.
Right, and the fact that, like, everything we saw about the kid, Guts also saw.
Yes,
so he probably definitely, he got those parallels of, like, oh, this kid's not too different from me. Like, I remember when I was that kid.
In fact, he literally kind of noticed the parallels by, why am I thinking back to this? It's kind of
why am I remembering this now?
Right, it's a thing that people do sometimes in stories with flashbacks, is they'll have a character remember something that's relevant to the current plot, and they'll be like, why am I thinking about this? And then they'll be like, oh, that's why I'm thinking about this.
Exactly.
And I think Guts is smart enough to realize that, man, this is this is a thing.
Yep.
But Griffith got what he wanted.
He did.
He successfully ordered the assassination. He successfully made his way to be the commander of Midland's main army.
Yep. He's close to the princess.
He's close to the princess. Yeah. He, not only that, he has manipulated things in such a way to have her fall in love with him. He's enjoying himself. Like, Griffith is actually like satisfied that he's like winning, and it's working. And now this is the thing that I'm worried about here. Is Griffith is probably not going to fall in battle or like have any failing in battle. Like, Griffith came close to having some problems when they ran into Nosferatu Zod.
Right. And but of course the assassination, but yeah.
Well, but plot the Behelit literally plot armored him out of that. So what I'm getting the vibe of, actually, is while the Behelit protected him from harm, Nosferatu Zod kind of did as well. Nosferatu Zod was like, wait, like, I am not going to kill you here. You are supposed to live. So the Behelit did the same thing. So when battles come up in the future, and if they encounter any weird creatures like that again, they're going to be like, oh, it's you. And then they're going to be like, yeah. So it's almost as if, like, Griffith already has dark forces on his side. And they're kind of just watching him and, like, looking out for him.
In this world, is the destiny of mankind controlled by some transcendental entity or law?
Right.
Is it like the hand of God hovering above?
Yep. Some dark, decrepit,
At least
like,
it's true that mankind has no control, not even over his own will.
I think that the main point of the story is that Griffith's whole thing is about finding, like, the balance between choice and fate. Like, he chooses his destiny to go after this whole thing there. But he readily accepts that his choice at some point will become moot because fate will carry him beyond even his choice in a way.
Yeah, the idea that, like, he gives it everything he's got because this is his choice.
Right.
And then he has to see what happens.
Right, which is fate's responsibility to carry him the rest of the way.
Which is probably why he can't help from, but smile when he hears about, say, Count Julius being dead.
Right.
Because he's like, okay, fate seems to be on my side. Like, this is all, it's all coming together.
Yeah. Now, the question is, can Griffith make a choice so stupid, so bad, that fate itself can't protect him?
That is an excellent question.
That is the real question now.
Right, because he has this meteoric rise to power that we're seeing, and it's like, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Like, is this going to stop? Right?
Right. I think, if anything, it will have a major slowdown point at some point in the future for some very good plot conflict kind of dynamic shift. But the scary thing is that at these moments where Griffith gets these massive success and it's so hype and it's just like, oh man, he's going, and then this Lord Huss comes in and tries to like
the minister. Did you hear about this rumor?
And he's basically saying, I knew about all of this. This rumor is basically just all the knowledge I had prior to talking with you just now. How would I have this knowledge unless I birdies, orchestrated some of this thing there? If anything, that guy was being insanely stupid to talk to Griffith so overtly. If anything, he should have brought someone else with him and done kind of the thing of letting the conversation just flow as it did, and manipulated the stupid guy that he brought with him.
So that they bring up the whole thing.
So they bring up the rumor.
That way it could also be something where it's like more of them saying like, okay, this is crazy stuff that's happening, like, why?
Right.
And then they sort of discover, like, could it be? I wonder.
Like, he could come in there and then Haas would be like, this guy has some news for you. I thought I would pass this along. And he's like, yes, there are some people out there that might be kind of defaming you, Griffith, my Lord Griffith. They are saying that there's a potential that you did this out of vengeance for Julius's potential attempt on your life. It's all conjecture, of course. And there's no way you would be involved in such a thing, right, my Lord Griffith? And Haas is like, zeroed in on his facial expressions, like, if you even flinch, I will know.
Yeah, but of
and
course,
Griffith
in
just
a
like,
lot of ways that probably would have been worse, because then Griffith's like, okay, so this guy's way too stupid to
no,
you
like
know.
it doesn't matter. It's the same result.
Sure.
Here. That one had at least a slight chance of Griffith being like, well, now I need to kill both of these idiots. Like,
But yeah, that part where he's like, no, there's no way he can announce. I'm good.
he turns around and Griffith is like Hawk staring him down.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just like
these are the moments, actually. It's every time Griffith has, I call them like the yandere eyes when I see them in like Hinata or something from Haikyuu.
But in this case, it's Griffith being a yandere for his ambition.
Well, I'm calling them
Risen.
hawk eyes, you know.
No, let's not taint.
No, because here's the thing. When you think about a hawk,
Yep.
it is actually the apex predator of the sky.
Oh yeah, like you look up those videos of like the people that put like the GoPros or whatever on the peregrine falcon, or no, that's falcon. That's right.
Well,
but
okay.
Point is, birds of prey, they're crazy.
The hawk species, essentially, there's a whole lot of different variations on them and stuff. But that species can dive fast enough to kill like most anything. The point that they have is that they generally don't take on creatures that are bigger than they can carry. But the thing is that
true.
a Griffith, a falcon, a hawk, if you will, could kill a human being too. But the thing is, they can't stomach, they can't eat a human being. Now, what if a
Griffith
young,
wasn't actually
plucky...
a hawk; he's a snake.
No, that's kind of the point here, is that Griffith is killing things he can't eat, and is basically he's a predator, a very powerful predator, taking on big prey because he hasn't failed yet. And this is the scary thing, is that Griffith believes in himself this way. There are literally demonic forces, at least one, that are like, yeah, we'll let him live because there's a ploy going on here.
Whatever that means.
The doohickey of doom on his neck
gave
him plot armor for reasons. Now he's getting like eyes of like ambition thirst. Like he's
I'm
just
getting
like
closer.
He's like, I'm almost there. And this is the kind of thing where you go, if like Griffith's your protagonist, you're like, yes, let's go. But if Griffith is like your anti-hero, where you're like, whoo, okay, I'm watching you, buddy. I'm watching you. Right. If anything, I like the idea more so that Griffith is not like Griffith is not bad. Like Griffith is not evil. Griffith is just hungry.
Exactly.
Griffith wants what he wants. He will go after it, and him and Guts are going to have their falling out at some point.
Right.
But it's going to be that like neither of them are right. It's going to be that they're both wrong. But they both need to find a way to basically come back, together amidst this whole mess that's going to be created, probably because of Griffith's actions.
Yeah,
because he's going to have
all
all
of that here with that conversation that Guts heard.
Right, and we've seen that he's eventually going to have all the power of Midland. Like he is
going to be king.
He is going to be king eventually.
Right,
and he's probably not going to be a great king. He's probably going to find out that, like, hey, the reason why it's, like, not fun to be king is because actually this race of, like, horrible monsters out there are keeping tabs on the political leaders, and then once you don't
jive with us.
Like once you become king, then you have to meet them at a crossroads and, sell your firstborn child. Like, you didn't know that Charlotte actually had an older brother? The older brother was sold to this nasty warlock person who's actually running the whole kingdom. And Griffith maybe is like, no, I will fight against the evil as a good king should. And you're like, you're an idiot. Yeah. And then chaos comes to the land.
That way.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many ways this can go wrong. And I feel like that's kind of what Berserk is wanting you to do, is you feel the doom coming. You feel the bad coming.
Right, the Greek tragedy kind of
Right,
thing.
the Greek tragedy, yes.
If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.
Exactly.
Right, and the question is, And because we know that there's demons and things like that, it's like,
Right.
is there any way that the rift between Griffith and Guts that we know is going to happen will be able to be resolved so that
I think so.
they can properly deal with the real issue?
Right. I think it eventually will. I think that Griffith and Guts, it's mainly a question of whether or not Guts will develop a true dream. And I think
Sure.
that's what they're foreshadowing here, is that Guts is going to have to find out what his dream is, what his
Right.
purpose is.
Exactly, yeah.
And once he's found that, it'll probably be a little bit too late in a lot of ways.
Okay.
But I think that he'll eventually find that, and that'll be what will, bring them back together as equals.
Sure, it drives them apart initially, and then it helps bring them back together. And
Right.
then they are equals, and they can...
Right, because
face
Guts
off
maybe
against the
thinks
hordes of
he's found a
darkness.
dream, and it's not really that. And Griffith, might at some point have, Guts be in his way, essentially, at some point with regards to his dream.
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah.
It came close. Like this episode, with Guts walking up. If Casca hadn't been there, it's like, what would have happened? Would the princess have noticed that his arm was bleeding?
Yeah, I was really, really nervous at that point. When the kid died and stuff, it happened so quickly that I was almost just too much in
Yep.
Oh my god, that happened.
Right, and that's probably what it was like for Guts too. Okay, I can't let anybody see me. Awesome, he's dead. This is good. There's a kid. Oh crap, I have to do this. And
then he kills him, and then he's like, crap, I just killed the kid. Crap, I just killed his kid. Crap, I killed the kid that was being bullied I was being bullied.
Yep.
Oh, God. And for 3 or 4 seconds, he's just like,
right. And I
what
loved,
have I done? What
I
have I
loved
done?
that they made it so that he didn't just do that and leave, but then they had him and he
grabbed his
He
hand.
held the kid's hand, as he died.
This show is dark. And
Yeah.
it's not that it's dark in the really edgy sense, because it's not the part that's not driving in the knife wound was really Hassan's reaction to this.
Yes.
He's never felt the gratitude of his father, or
It's
felt the warmth, and you're like,
come on,
why, man? Why do you have to do this?
It's because this is the thing that separates edgy dark stuff from non-edgy dark stuff.
Right.
The non-edgy dark stuff deals with the ramifications of if you have something that dark.
Yeah.
Right? That if you're forced to kill a kid, you don't just do it and move on and oh no. But it's shit.
Yeah.
I just killed a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have so many theories right now, but I don't want to just ramble here on and on forever. This is probably one of the most intense episodes of the show thus far. This easily beats the Nosferatu Zod episode in terms of story.
Just all the stuff that's happening, and yep.
So yeah, I think I'm going to be rewatching that fountain scene probably about 4 or 5 times, because I'm going to analyze the crap out of it. I feel like they basically told us the whole plot in that fountain episode. It's basically there's a code in there, and if I can decipher it, it's all here, guys. The show essentially would kind of unfold for me, and I don't want to actually break the code, because I don't think I can.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But I feel like I'm coming up on having a broader understanding of the eventual conflict of interest, conflict of ambition, or conflict of connection, friendship, or whatever that's coming between Guts and Griffith, based on that scene.
Right. That is just one of the best monologues ever.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
But you realize that's a monologue. You know who monologues? Villains. Villains monologue. I'm just going to say
Protagonist monologue 2.
Protagonist monologue to other people. Griffith was making a lot of I statements. I this, I that, I this. He only said you at the very end.
Okay.
This is the thing about...
hey, Keon had a great monologue in this Prince movie too. But
Keon had some mental issues, so there's that. But Griffith, you are an incredible character, an incredibly complex, in-depth character, and I can't wait to see more of you and your crazy ambition, because holy crap, this episode. All right, guys, I don't have anything else to say. Anything in particular is a highlight little thing that I might have missed, and you're like, ooh, did you catch that?
Not really. Like the thing of Casca, you caught on to it too, of tying up the wound and, hiding the arrow shot.
Yeah.
But
the fact that she did that, and it was kind of the first nice thing she's done to Guts in a while.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. After she had just been talking about the idea of,
group unity
and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, why aren't you doing this? And it's like, okay, well.
She's going to take a step in that direction.
Exactly.
So that he'll kind of notice that and be like, oh,
right. Yeah.
I'll reciprocate. Sure. Okay, cool. Yeah, I noticed that. And I'm sure that'll become a bigger thing moving onward as, Griffith is now the head of Midland's army. And now instead of having a council room of the Band of the Hawk and Griffith, it's going to be Griffith
with his
bunch
advisors.
of people,
and
maybe one representative from the Band of the Hawk in there in total, along with like 30 other people.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Anyhow, guys, it's a fantastic episode, and if you want to see the next episode's reaction, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there. You can get on our Discord and chat with us about anything. And we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.